and welcome to another episode of 5 Minutes with Freed. I'm your host, Michael Freed. I'm a litigation partner in the matrimonial and family law firm of Berkman, Botker, Newman, and Shine, with offices in New York City, Westchester, and Long Island. And today, my special guest is Sima Ali, who's a principal of the Ali Law Group. So, Sima, welcome to 5 Minutes with Freed.
Thank you, Michael. I'm excited to be here.
So, Sima, what is the Ali Law Group and what do you do for the firm?
So the Ali Law Group is a boutique labor and employment consulting firm, which really means that we focus on the area of labor and employment law, primarily for businesses where we function as if an outside counsel, for businesses. So and what do I do? I'm the principal attorney and owner of Ali Law Group, and we've been in business for about 12 years. And we serve businesses pretty much mostly in the tri-state area, but really could be anywhere that they have employees.
Great. So, Seema, you know that I'm a matrimonial and family law attorney. When would my clients most often require your services?
Really, almost any business should be working with a labor and employment attorney because there are so many laws at play. But most typically, when we get called is when there is potentially an issue. Most of the common issues, I would say, involve terminations where you're wondering whether or not this might lead to a litigation. That's probably the thing that we do the most of. And in that type of situation, we'll help an employer look at whether or not the termination might be a little bit legally risky and help them put together, sort of like documentation on that termination to show that it's more of a business reason. And then if necessary, put together related documents. Sometimes we suggest a separation agreement, and sometimes we would suggest, other documents related to a termination, like notifying the employee that they've been terminated in writing, which might be required based on the jurisdiction they're in. But that would be the most typical. A lot of times people will look to us to do a handbook or training. The easiest one is if someone is getting sued by their employee and, then they need help. We do litigation defense, but most of the time we're dealing more so with the day-to-day questions and counseling issues.
And what are the challenges that you face in your area of work?
The biggest challenge is that the law is changing on a frequent basis. Nothing compared to during the COVID era. It was changing almost every week. But in this area, there are so many laws at play, really an incredible amount. And there's a lot of changes, not just from a legislative perspective, but also from the court's perspective, and keeping up with what the laws are and how they impact the workplace is kind of like, we're always kind of behind the eight ball. So, which is why it's important for employers to have a relationship with an attorney so they're in compliance.
Absolutely. So, Seema, what would be the best way for a prospective client or other professional like myself to contact you?
Really, my email, which is sima.ali@alilawgroup.com, or our office phone number, which is 631-423-3440. I think email is probably the best way, though.
Okay. So now, Sima Ali, we have now come to the most important part of our show, and that happens to be the question of the week. So, Sima Ali, this is your question of the week. What musical instrument would you choose if you could pick up any instrument and play it beautifully, and why?
Okay, well, I guess if I could play it beautifully, I think I would go with the piano, even though my parents would be hysterical laughing because of the amount of pushback I gave with my piano lessons. I actually love the sound the piano makes behind the scenes with the melodies and the harmonies, and I actually did play. It's not that I have no experience, so I could probably more so imagine myself playing that more than anything. And yeah, I think it just it helps. It brings a lot of things together. And if in theory, somebody could be singing, maybe me, but I don't have the voice for that too. So
Well, I have to say, Sima Ali, that was a great answer. And I must say, you have said it all. You are helping businesses with their employment issues one day at a time. And I want to thank you for being a wonderful guest on 5 Minutes with Freed.
thank you, Michael, and thanks for including me on this wonderful podcast.